If you could take your era of wrestling, the top 20 guys, those guys would be the superstars of any era.
This guy comes up and he goes, "You just shattered my childhood."
Yeah, yeah. I was convinced that y'all were really from Mother Russia.
Yeah, he did. He was from Minnesota, so he probably spent some time over at the Leering Center.
That's right. And she comes up to the table. She goes, I hate you. Yo, like, I just preached about Jesus. Come on. She goes, I don't hate you now. I don't know how many times my brothers hit me with that sickle thing of yours.
You made me hate Russia 10 times more than I would have normally hated it.
Think you can stay another week? I said no.
My dad.
Right.
I'm not going to talk about shoes too much because I got a problem with that. But it's
He's
but it's
definitely
a
metrosexual. All right, welcome back to Born Southern, and we've got one of my all-time childhood favorite Southern. He's not from the South, but he has done Southern things as long as anybody I know. The greatest wrestler in my generation that I grew up with and looking up to, Nikita Koloff.
You're being very kind. I appreciate that. I'll just take you on the road with me, and you can introduce me wherever I go.
I'll do it.
Fair enough?
I'll take that job.
I've been in the South long enough that maybe they'll start to claim me or something. I don't know.
Listen, if you in the NWA and Mid-Atlantic and all, I think you're kind of you're grandfathered in.
I came to Charlotte to break into wrestling in 1984.
Right.
So with the exception of a couple of years there, I've been in the Charlotte area since that time. So long time.
You were from Minnesota, right?
Originally a Minnesota guy, yes.
And so now I had a question about that because it seems like all the big muscled up superstars, during that era were all from Minnesota. Like so tell me how you guys linked together. How did that work?
It was the minerals in the water tower.
I know was Jesse Ventura from there. I know he was a mayor or
he was a governor. He was a mayor and then a governor. And actually the little backstory on that is I first met Jesse in college. He had a little sweatbox gym called Ventura's Gym in North Minneapolis. And about 25 of us muscleheads would work out at his gym. And he'd be there all the time. You walk in and he'd always be like sitting in that front chair at the front desk, just walking away, man. How are you doing? Good to see ya. Got a deal. And so we got to know him a little bit. But all the guys, so many of the guys, from and it was the Twin Cities, let's just say, not just one particular area. Although there were 7 of us from my high school that all broke in.
Wow.
Barry Darsow, who just got inducted in the Hall of Fame as Smash, Demolition. Darsow,
I saw that last week. That really made me happy because they worked some of our when I was coming through.
Okay,
they were.
We trained him up as Crusher Khrushchev to lead to his success as Demolition Smash. So just to throw that out there. So
everybody that was a child of the 70s, 80s knows Crusher Khrushchev. I mean, I didn't know who you were talking about until you said that name. That's exactly who it was.
So he was he was our partner, Uncle Lyman and I, until he went up to New York and became Demolition. But Darsow was a year behind me in high school. Graduating with me was Nord the Berserker. And graduating a year before me was Ravishing Rick Rude.
Wow.
Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig, Tom Zink, the Z-Man, and the lesser known was a guy named Brady Boone. They all graduated.
I must have had a hell of a wrestling team.
Everyone thinks 5 of us played on the same football team. They thought we must have won 10 state championships. I said we were mediocre. I go, you got to have coaching too. You can't just have talent. Got to have coaching. So we're at best a 500 ball club, believe it or not.
Yeah,
but great athletes.
I'll take that. I'll take a 500. we were 3 and 7 every year, no matter what.
Though.
Yeah,
but you were consistent.
That's right.
You were consistent 3 and 7.
Yeah.
No, well, I made up for it in college though, because the 4 years I played in college, small college ball. I didn't play major college, but we were 37-3-1.
Oh wow!
2 of the teams in our division, we were number 1 of the nation for the entire year, and all 4 teams were in the top 10.
Is that back when it was NAI?
NAIA, yep, and some JUCO ball. I played some JUCO ball too. we cracked in, some wouldn't know this, but in California, there's so many junior colleges in California that they have their own poll. And if you cracked into their poll, that was amazing in and of itself. But if you reached number one like we did in the California poll, that was a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It was a big deal. We were unfortunately, because of injuries, my injury and our quarterback's injury separated his shoulder just the game before the one playoff game that would have taken us to what they call back then the Junior Rose Bowl. Like we literally would have played the California state champion in the Rose Bowl.
Wow.
For the national title. But
What position did you play?
What position do you think I would have played?
Linebacker or defensive end?
So a lot of people guess linebacker. I did play defensive end. In high school, I played both ways. I played offense, defense. In junior college, I played both ways. And at the 4-year, they would stick me in on the goal line defense,
Right.
just because of how aggressive I was.
Right.
But tight end was what I played.
Okay, that would have been my third.
I love catching the ball, man. I just they called me a glorified lineman, but just love catching the ball and scoring touchdowns.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
So did any of those other guys that the Hall of Fame, the WWE Hall of Fame high school team you had, did any of those guys play college football with you?
Henning played a year, blew out his knee. In fact, we were from that potential Rose Bowl, we were playing against each other for the state championship in Minnesota. Henning was on the sideline on crutches. I was on the sideline on crutches. So we played together in high school. We didn't get to play against each other in college, but he quit right after. Once he rehabbed his knee, I think that's when he immediately got into pro wrestling, quit college and got into wrestling. But there are a bunch of the Road Warriors, right?
Yeah.
Animal and Hawk. Animal was from Irondale High School in New Brighton. Hawk was from Roosevelt High School in Minneapolis. Scott Norton, Wayne Bloom, Mike Enos. Man, you just go down the list of guys that were from Minnesota. It's just crazy, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, that's amazing. I never knew that.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know there was that many from Minnesota.
Now there was
Flair?
something.
Rick Flair?
Yeah.
He's a Minnesota guy.
Yeah.
But now, who you or Animal, didn't one of you drag one of you? I can't remember. I heard the story. One of you pulled the other one into the wrestling or pulled him into football or something. I can't remember how that went.
Both. So the short version, the Reader's Digest version of that is, I was actually part of the college recruiting team for whatever reason. Saw Animal in the Minneapolis Tribune all conference. They're highlighting all the, and I'm like, let me get that dude's number. So I For the younger listener viewers, go Google this, but they actually had something called a phone book with names and addresses in it. Yep. I literally, I'm like Laurinaitis. How many Laurinaitis can there be in Minneapolis?
Right.
I got the white pages, Laurinaitis, New Brighton, Minnesota. Made a phone call. Somebody answered the phone. I said, "Here's who I am." Saw Joe in the highlighted. Like to invite him to tour our campus. So him and his mom and dad came. I got to give him the personal tour. And man, we just connected like we'd know each other for life.
Yeah.
And he came, and so we played 2 years together.
So you recruited him?
I recruited him into college football.
Every day.
And then the rest of that story, the Paul Harvey of that story is he drops out. I continue on.
Right.
Next thing I know, he's in wrestling. Then once I graduated and I was training for a pro football tryout, he calls me and in essence and recruits me, so to speak, into wrestling. So
Sure.
just flip the table there, right?
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Like I know somebody that will take care of me when we're in the ring, and he's a beast too. Let me call him. And a lot of people don't realize that, but your best matches are against your buddies, really, or people you have
Right.
because you take care of each other. And so I didn't get that. I wasn't very good, to begin with. But it took me a long time to get that. By the time I figured it out, I was.
If you're wrestling against somebody you actually like,
Right.
as opposed to someone you have a personality clash with,
Right.
The possibility of a better match is there.
Sure.
Not that you can't have a good match with a personality clash.
Right.
However, it makes it more difficult and more challenging.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
it's you want to. It's easier to put somebody over that you like.
I just saw something recently where I think Kevin Nash was young and up and coming. He had a match against Kilt Skirt. Why am I drawing a
Roddy Piper.
Roddy Piper, and they had talked to each other before it's tag teams, And they were like, man, let's just take it easy tonight. We got a big match on TV tomorrow night. This is just a local show. Let's take it easy on each other. And Roddy got in there. It was going too hard. And when it was over with, he went and found him in the locker room and like open hand slapped him or something. Like there's a controversy about exactly what happened. But Nash was like, it was my fault because I was young and I didn't, I didn't handle that the way I should have handled it.
Yeah, but it's just business. It's like the smart guys, they're doing business together. So it's like, get over this.
I'll bet you have your heat. I don't care about blocking anything like that or whatever.
Some guys, again, people ask me, you guys are all friends, right? Well, no, not necessarily. It's like anything. You all friends with your family members? Probably not. Might be a family member or two you don't like for whatever reason, Uncle Joe or whoever. Everybody's got an Uncle Joe. Yeah. But, or in the workplace, right? I mean, do you get along with every single person you work with? Probably not.
Right.
But, the wrestling's no different. It's a business.
So when we, we talked about this on Nikita's thing, but I got to work for Nikita. He has a huge evangelical, I guess, wrestling ministry
an
thing.
Outreach,
right. And so I got to do that before I quit, wrestling altogether a while. And man, I was really impressed with it. I was on this level, and he was on a different level. So me and Greg Valentine worked against Hawk and George South. Yep.
Statesville, right? Statesville, North Carolina, I believe.
Sure was. And I was struggling back then. I mean, I was really struggling. And so I didn't understand why that Nikita allowed me to be in the main event match with these guys to begin with, because I wasn't, and then put me over by putting Hawk through the table. Well, then I got it at the end, because when it was over with, Hawk never left the ring. He got up. And so then Nikita had all the wrestlers come back out and stand around the ring while he was giving his testimony. And so I'm out there and I'm like, okay, all right, I'm just trying to survive myself, like I'm not in a good place right now. Then there must have been 200 kids come down for altar call. I mean,
That's good stuff.
It was crazy. And so I'm standing there and I remember like praying. I said, God, I'm not in a place right now. Like, please don't just make me invisible.
Yeah, as you said, let me be invisible right now.
Yeah, don't let these kids pull me. And of course, I felt that tug on my leg, and I was like, oh my gosh. So the boy said, will you pray for me? And I said, yes, sir, I will. And it, God did it, because I
used that, right?
Yeah.
For you.
Well, glory
he
to
sure
God.
did.
That's
but
right.
We were the main event at the Cabarrus Arena the day Hawk died. I've still got the poster. So it was he and I were wrestling in the main event for live action wrestling. It was me and this other guy were doing it, and he just no-showed, and we were like, Jimmy Hart was there with me. And I was like, man, that's bull crap, like what the? He said, brother, you never know what's going on. And I was like, man, it just didn't mean enough to him, something. We weren't his level. He just no-showed. Like I was just, you're frustrated because you didn't know. And then I got a call at like 5:00 the next morning from Jimmy. He said, brother, I'm glad that I talked to you, because I was just being, it was just, it wasn't like I was going to call anybody and fuss about it, but I was just frustrated.
Sure.
But he was like, he said, brother, he said, I told you. He said, you never know what's going on, man. And that's when they had found him. They were moving. And I think his wife had left him at the apartment to get a few more things or something. And that's when he had his heart attack over there. So
how old was he about when that happened?
40-ish.
I didn't think he'd made it to his 50s.
Yeah,
he was.
But many of those guys, unfortunately, a number of them, 30s and 40s, and even some of them into their 20s. And
yeah, that's amazing.
It's a rough lifestyle.
You made it look easy, but who if you had to pick one guy that you've worked there all your life that you were just like, oh God, this is going to be a stiff match,
a struggle.
Yeah.
Well, the one guy that always kind of pops in my head, because I honestly attempted to get along with everybody. Again, I didn't like everybody.
Right.
but I attempted to get along with everybody. And then there were certain guys that did certain things that had a history or reputation, let's say, of being reckless.
Right.
So because of that, I put up boundaries like that power slam. Yeah, that ain't happening tonight. At least not on me.
Right.
You can do that on somebody else, but it ain't happening. Right. Jake the Snake Roberts. I'm like, Jake, not a fan of snakes. Leave it in the bag. You pull it out, get your hand raised. I don't care.
Right.
But the snake will not be crawling across my face.
Yep.
Kind of thing. But the one guy that and again, we had decent matches, but we just had a personality clash, was the Raging Bull Manny Fernandez.
Oh.
Raging Bull. And, he just kind of had a little cocky attitude about him. And he was a great tactician in the ring. I mean, he knew the business, so it wasn't that he wasn't good in the ring or any of that. It's just, we just had a personality clash.
I got some Manny stories.
A lot of people do.
Yeah. We'll skip it out of here, but I'll leave it at this.
Leave that for another time.
I'll leave it at this. Amy didn't, my wife and kids and everybody in the arena all had, they were raffle tickets at the end of the show. And the last match, the main event came on and they, so everybody, they're like, all right, you can go home now.
50-50 raffle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're like, what? We didn't do the drawing yet. The drawing. And the promoter's like, what drawing?
Oh my God.
I swear. And he was trying to hurry up and get that suitcase out of there and get out the back door.
Wow.
But the little girl that he had doing it, he just found some girl there at the school, and
right.
it was terrible. Like my wife had to go down there and go, like, look, she did. I can tell by the way she's crying. Like, get off of her. She didn't do anything wrong. She thought that she was raising money for Manny. So
She thought she'd be legit.
yeah, it was
Bless
not
her
there.
heart. I can't say I'm shocked by that story. I will not name names, but I know of specifically wrestlers who we're just gonna like bash on wrestlers the whole time. I guess no. But I will say this: since we're talking about some of this, who would go into restaurants, eat most of the meal, and then call the manager over and say, "Hey, there's a hair in this food," and the manager would be like, "Oh, I'm
Always
so sorry.
working.
No charge for and one guy in particular, won't name any names. I used to get so mad. I'm like, dude, do you understand like how wrong that is? Like, you are premeditatedly going in. That's just wrong. You are stealing. You are a thief, bro, is what you are.
I agree.
Anyway.
Well, I tell you, on a positive note,
Yes, please.
Yes, let's move back to
to
that.
talk good about a wrestler, when the times that I went with Tully on the prison ministries, and he would, we had I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like a strong man. He would rip a big Charlotte size phone book in two, and he would bend nails with his hand. We
had our city, maybe
big old boy. He was like a national power lifter.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those guys that did that. The power team, they were called back then.
And so they would, they'd have all these guys that could do all these different things, and they would incorporate that into their testimonies.
Yeah.
And Tully would get up there, he'd disappear for a minute, and then he'd come back walking out, and he'd have on his robe. Mm-hmm. And he'd do the little Flair thing up there. And listen, those guys
loved it.
They ate it up. Tully had a powerful testimony. The way that he was talking about how the influences of, prohibited substances had really gotten, when they were the Four Horsemen,
got the better of them.
They were making such good money at that time. He told me they were making $5,000 a week, and that was in the late 70s, early 80s. I mean, that's a lot of money now, but that's a whole lot of money back then.
Yeah, for sure.
And it just kind of spiraled out of control until he, like a lot of people, he had to hit
rock bottom,
mm-hmm. and then got open to the Lord. Lord was moving in his heart, and just changed his life. And I mean, you could see it. I would watch those inmates hung on every word that he said, and I know he planted a lot of seeds. Lord used him in a lot of ways. It probably still is using him to save people.
Because what's interesting is, and I've never felt really called to prison ministry, but that's not to say I never did it. I did. I've been in a number of prisons, and a good majority of them are shall we say, wrestling fans. They just are.
Right.
And so it was, I'll just say, easy to get their attention if you could, if you were half good at delivering the message.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Quick little side note on Tully. Well, after he hit rock bottom and had that encounter with Jesus at 4:13 in the morning in his bed or whatever, something like that.
Right.
He and I were doing an independent show, riding together up to West Virginia. We're going to work each other, but we're like, we're not going to take two cars. Let's just jump in one car.
Right.
So he's driving. So he had already had that encounter with Jesus. So he's testifying to me in the car. Now we got a 4 or 5 hour ride together, so he's got to capture the audience.
Right.
And I, at that point of my own journey, I'm not there yet.
Right.
But as he's sharing the story, I'm respectfully listening. And, by the time he was done, I'm like, man, I'm really happy for you. That's
Right.
That's great. That's awesome, Tully. Yeah. Really happy for you, you know. But I say that to say this. He didn't lead me to the foot of the cross, but he sowed some seed.
That's right.
Or he watered some seed,
Well, Paul says some sow it, some water it.
God gets the increase, right? Right. So I would give him some of the credit, having the boldness to share his testimony with me. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, I guess we'll never know till we stand with the Lord, how much of an impact really that had on me, just that little story. But anyway, that's pretty cool. Tully's done a lot of prison ministry. Right?
Yeah. He's, it's just amazing. The times that I got to go with him and just how it made me look at things a lot different when I'm seeing those guys in prison now. They're not just faces. These are
real people.
These are real people that need real help.
And here again, a captured audience.
Right.
That's right.
Oh yeah. They told me when they were training me, don't worry about jailhouse religion. I'm like, what is jailhouse religion? And they said, listen, everybody's going to come because it gets them out of their routine. That don't mean everybody's. Even the Muslim guys went there. They were staring hard, like they wanted to kill us all. But the Muslims would sit around there and listen to all the guys give their testimonies.
Yeah, they get out of their
don't
cell.
Don't edit that out. That's the truth.
Yeah. I would say, again, sometimes like in those scenarios when I'm talking to them, and I really felt this, and to this day, I do feel I would at times say to them, some of you who had that genuine born again, blood washed experience, and are walking with Jesus, I go, truthfully, you're more free than some of the people outside these walls and outside these prison cells that I've run into because you have a genuine relationship with Jesus.
Right.
And because there's some people outside of prison that are more bound, shackled and bound and imprisoned, if you will, out here in the free world.
Sure.
It just are. It's just my own story of when I went to the altar and got on my knees. I can't say there was any real major fanfare or any major explosion other than I knew in that moment, I knew in that moment that something had changed. Right. And in fact, I talk about this like in one of my books about being successful but unfulfilled. And in that moment, upon that decision, that confession, that repentance, the sense of being unfulfilled immediately vanished.
Right.
In a nanosecond, it vanished. And I sometimes will tell people in that moment, for the first time in my life, I realized my life had greater purpose than just entertaining people in a squared circle.
Well, they say every heart's got a God-sized hole. Right. And until you fill it, you're never going to be fulfilled, no matter how successful you may be in any other part of your life.
That's how he created us, right? And then what happens with people is, I'm not telling you anything you guys don't know, but for your viewers and your listeners, is what happens is people try to fill that without realizing that hole's even there, right? They try to fill it with everything else, whether it's sex, drugs, women, whatever, success, climb the corporate ladder, money, whatever, right? Never fully satisfied. Again, successful, unfulfilled, never fully fulfilled, never fully satisfied until they come to the revelation, the realization that the only thing that can fill that void, that hole, is a relationship with Jesus.
Right.
Plain and simple. Right?
Amen.
It's that simple. We just make it complicated.
Right.
That's right.
You know?
He even, I think he says in Proverbs, he made us simple and we've made ourselves complicated.
Yeah, exactly. I had the privilege of leading my mom to the foot of the cross years ago. And it's kind of a crazy story. Like I was going up to visit her. She was in her mid-70s at the time. And the Lord put it on my heart, talk to her about the plan of salvation. I'm like, really, Lord? Really? You want me to go talk to my mom about the, right? Because sometimes the family members are the hardest to talk to, right? It just is.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I grew up with you, man. Mike, I know, dude, who you kidding, man?
Right.
You ain't changed. You're the same old Mike that I knew and I grew up with, man, whatever, right?
Oh, I get that a lot.
Right. So anyway, try to condense the story now. So I'm going up there for like 2 weeks, and I knew what God wanted me to do. Well, Ken, like the last day, right? I'm leaving to come home. I've been there 2 weeks.
Right.
And I'm loading up my car. I'm like packed because I drove up. I'm packed. And the Lord, as I'm loading my car, the Lord goes, so when do you like plan to have that conversation with your mom? I'm like, man, I'm working on that, Lord. I'm trying to work up the courage to have that conversation. I go, so I'm like, okay, fine. I'll go in and do it right now. So we walked in the living room, sat down. I could see it right now. I'm on the couch. She's in her little favorite spot. I said, Mom, I got the car all packed, get ready to go, and get ready to head back to the Carolinas. And I got to ask you something before I leave, Mom. She was like, okay. And, I'm like, Mom, have you ever asked Jesus Christ to come in your heart? The Lord's put this on my heart to ask you, have you ever surrendered your heart, your life to Jesus? And she wouldn't look at me, right? She's like looking at the floor. She won't make eye contact. And she gives kind of a standard stock answer. Well, I'm a good person.
Yeah.
How many people say that, right? I'm a good person. I said, yeah, I put her over, right? I'm like, you are, Ma. You are a really good person, right? But that doesn't answer the question that I asked, right? The question is, I repeated it. Have you ever asked Jesus into your heart, surrendered your life to Christ? And she gave the second stock answer. Well, I believe in God. And I go, that's really good, Mom.
Right.
That's a good start.
Yep.
Believing in God's a good start. For you viewers out there, the demons believe in him too.
Right.
Amen.
So it's not just believing there's a God, right? God, right? It's the surrender of, right?
Yes.
So anyway, all that to say, so I say, well, that's good, Mom. That's good. I'm glad you believe in God. I go, but that still doesn't answer the question. She still wouldn't look at me. She's like just kind of like staring at the floor. I go, Mom, have you ever asked Jesus in your heart? She finally looked up. She finally made eye contact with me. She goes, no, I've never done that. And I go, Mom, would you like to? I go, it's not hard. It's pretty easy. You can just pray.
All you got to do is mean it.
Sincerely from the heart, right? I go, I don't even have to give you a word. Like you just pray. I go, I can lead you in if you want me to. And she goes, no, I would like you to help, So I did. So, led her in that prayer and to the foot of the cross, right? But man, that was tough.
That's tough when they're.
But you never forget that.
Her living room, I can just see it right now, when that happened, how that happened. And so.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. So that's one of a number of stories, but of course.
Well, Mike was talking about people that you didn't maybe care to wrestle, but who were guys that you really enjoyed, in the ring?
Yeah, great question. And the short answer would be the majority of them.
Okay. Yeah. That's good.
I mean, like for real, but some names, so people might identify with some names. I mean, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, man. You want to talk about a night off, man? He was he was a smooth operator, man. He was the easiest in the ring, just fluid and just flow. Did you ever get to wrestle him, work with him?
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh, Mike. He was so easy to work with.
I knew him because he had the gym over there, so I knew him. But he was before I actually started getting even close
involved.
to. Yeah, I was. Yeah. He was, but I just from all the boys, everybody you've ever talked to.
Yeah.
They all go back to him, like the easiest guy you ever got in the ring with.
Yeah, and by far one of the easiest. When I teamed up initially with Ivan and Don Kernodle, I mean, those guys were great to work with, and easy once I made the turned and saw the light and became a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, it was you were easy to not like as a heel. I remember
That was the goal.
You guys. Yeah, I was convinced that y'all were really from Mother Russia.
As you were supposed to. I'll take that. I'll wear that as a badge of honor, right?
Yeah.
I was at a church recently. I was in the sound booth queuing up some videos and stuff with the media guys, and this guy comes up. He says something to me, and I respond. He gets this look on his face. I'm like, "Bro, you okay?" And he goes, "You just shattered my childhood."
Yeah, you
I
didn't have your Russian accent when you talked.
I didn't. He goes, "This just a few months ago." He goes, "Until right now, all these years, I really thought you were."
I've been sitting here thinking, how did he learn to talk Southern so good?
I had good training there.
That's right.
There
you go.
I wasn't born Southern, but I had good training.
You're bred Southern.
He was from Minnesota, so he probably spent some time over at the Learning Center.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
I was back before World War XI.
And I was from the southern part of Minneapolis.
That's right. That's right.
Actually, technically, I was from North Minneapolis. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, Ricky Steamboat, the Ric Flair. I mean, I say all the time, Ric Flair could make a broomstick look good. I mean, because he made the Russian Nightmare look good with no experience, right? I saw Flair. Oh my gosh, he cracks me up. I saw him recently. I hadn't seen him in a long time at a signing in up in Long Island, New York. And man, the first words out of his mouth were, "You should have taken that belt. You should have taken that belt." Now, some people don't know. I read about it in one of my books, but he was the world heavyweight champion. He was what they called the booker at the time. And I had been out of wrestling for a while. I had a late wife die of cancer.
Oh.
She was diagnosed at 24, battled for 2 years, and died.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why I left at one point when I left, kind of in the peak.
Yeah.
I told them, I'm going to take care of her, man. And truthfully, they were not happy that I was leaving, but I'm like,
not.
priority.
Yeah.
And then she passed away at age 26. And right after she passed, Rick's calling me to his house in Charlotte, and he's offered me the belt. Hey, we need you, man. You got to come back. I'll put the belt on you. You can have the belt. And I just mentally I was still grieving, the loss of a wife. Sure. And so I just mentally wasn't there. 3 weeks later, he calls me back down. We're having lunch at his pool. He's like, "Dude, you got it." So, technically he offered it to me 2 times. I'm probably one of a handful that ever turned down the world heavyweight strap. Right.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And he reminded me of that in Long Island a few weeks ago. He should have took it. Should have took the strap, man. But no regrets. Simply say, do you regret?
Right.
No regrets.
Right.
Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Easy to work with. Road Warriors. Easy to work with. Magnum. TA.
Yeah.
Easy to work with, which, by the way, this year is the 40th anniversary of the Best of 7 series.
Really?
Yeah, it is. And we're actually working on a commemorative book celebrating the 40 years. And Magnum and I are going to do a couple in-person signings together and then a virtual signing.
Man, yeah.
Yeah, we got a T-shirt and a poster and a coin and the book.
Listen, take that one ride of his life away. Take that wreck away.
What if, right?
Oh my gosh.
He was everybody loved him, dude. He was going to be big.
Just put him in that circle with you guys and the Road Warriors and Dusty and Flair and all that whole
There's
group.
another one. Dusty, easy to work with. Easy to work with, easy to work against,
Yeah.
The angle just lined up. The American Dream against the Russian Nightmare.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
And then when we flipped the script and become the Superpowers, easy P. We did sellout business for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that was brilliant when they joined.
The whole Magnum thing, he was just days away from signing a contract for the world title. They were preparing him to be the next Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And, the whole what if to that is people ask me, would you have turned babyface had he not had the wreck? And my guess would be probably not, because to your point, I had so much heat as a heel. Probably would have just stayed a heel my whole career, or most of my career anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he and I could have had a best of 7 for the world heavyweight title.
Oh, yeah.
We could have wrestled flag versus flag.
Yeah.
Tag matches. We could have done a ton. We could have done a ton of business for Jim Crockett.
Right.
Right.
It was that was devastating. I mean, at that time, that was crazy. It
was the talk of Charlotte for sure. Everybody around here that followed it.
All over the news, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know it. I was in Japan on a 2-week tour in Japan.
Really?
Yeah, of course, there's no internet, nothing back then.
Right.
So I didn't know it. I got back, first night back in Philadelphia, and Jim Crockett and Dusty pulled me into an office and tell me about it. I thought they were working me, Mike. I'm like, yeah, right. They're like, no, like,
that's for real.
He's in a hospital bed, paralyzed from the neck down right now, may never walk again. And once it sunk in, I'm like, all right, these guys are shooting. These guys are like on the level here,
right.
Not trying to pull my leg. And then I was like, wow, oh my gosh, So
no, it's bad. I mean, I'm just glad he's here. I mean, he had the look, the size, the athleticism. I mean, the charisma, everything was
all American. He had the all apple pie, hot dogs, and Magnum TA.
Yeah,
I'm telling you that. Look, if you could take your era of wrestling,
the golden era,
as
many have said,
it really is.
The fans.
There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But you could pick up the top 20 guys and move it to back or forward, and those guys would be the superstars of any era. I don't think any other way.
Never thought about it that way, but the one unique thing about, and of course that's not taking anything away from WWF at the time with Hogan and Piper and Savage and Ultimate Warrior and all the guys, but there was, according to the fans, something unique about the NWA and that era of wrestling that still 40 years later still draws people. I was at Las Vegas, right? WrestleMania. Promoter flew me out for 2 days to sign autographs. I had a dude, he comes up and he comes up and he goes, I come all the way from Japan, big Nikita fan. I must get picture from Japan. I'm like, that's crazy. Flew from Japan to get a picture with big Nikita fan. Dubai. A guy from Dubai in the Middle East who was big Nikita fan. I must get a picture. I'm like, wow. Okay.
Listen, I'm telling you.
It's kind of like 80s rock and roll, 80s music.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids listen to more 80s music now than they do the
it's iconic. You're an icon.
And that's the way that wrestling is. I could watch reruns of it now.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people do. Like, I get a lot of young kids come out and go, dude, you're not old enough to know me. He's like, oh no, Mr. Nikita, I watch all of your old stuff on, whatever. Netflix,
YouTube,
this,
whatever.
Yeah. He goes, I watch it all. I loved your character. I loved you, kind of thing. It's very humbling, very flattering, but
Listen, you got the Amy Long seal of approval the other night, because usually if we're in bed together, I'm like, she'll start easing off a little bit, so I'll flip over to YouTube, and since I knew I had you coming on, I turned on some wrestling. I was turning the volume down. I'm watching it, and then next thing I know, I saw her. She's going like this. And I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Now this was when it was good." Yeah. And I was like, "Okay."
I swear, my brother is about a year younger than me, and he hated Saturday mornings because I'd get worked up watching y'all, and then I just throw him all over the yard. I was practicing my figure four.
I had a woman one time, like I was preaching at a church, and after service was over, I'm out at my resource table and stuff, and she comes up and she comes up to the table. She goes, I hate you. I'm like, like we're in church. I just preached about Jesus. Come on. She goes, no. She goes, I don't hate you now, but man, growing up with my four brothers, that like sickle thing you did.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how many times my brothers hit me with that sickle thing of yours.
You made me hate Russia 10 times more than I would have normally hated it.
Boom.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, the Cold War was on.
It was on.
Yeah.
We had death threats, like legit. Like,
I don't doubt it.
Crockett's office would get calls like, the Koloff show up in Charleston tonight. We're going to kill him. And Crockett's like, we'll just beef up security. Don't worry. You'll be fine. And I'm 10 foot tall and bulletproof anyway back then. So. Yeah. What do I care, So, Well, you tell your bride, thank you for that. I'm honored by that. I pulled her right into the story,
right.
didn't I?
You did.
What about a little digress, but I always liked him, but I never knew enough about it to know who he was. Who was Mr. Wrestling? The dude would have the white mask on and the white trunks, and he was pretty smooth too. He was a good wrestler.
There was a 1 and 2, and I always kind of get confused. Tim Woods was one of them. It was Mr. Wrestling number 1 and 2. Tim Woods and Johnny, and I'm going to forget his last name, but Tim lived here in Charlotte. I got to know Tim on a real personal level. I became a really best friend prior to his passing. Didn't
Curtis Parker wrestle? Was it Eagle or something like that with him too?
I don't know, but the two originals, Johnny Walker and Tim Woods were the two original wrestling 1 and 2. I forget which one was which, but Tim was a shooter. He was an Ithaca amateur, like AAU All-American champion. I mean, he was legit. Take a quick funny story on Tim. So his ring finger, like he had that part of his finger missing on his ring finger, right? And I'm like, finally got up enough courage one day to go, Tim, man, like, what happened to your finger, bro? And he goes, well, back in the days, just like the 60s and 70s, right? So prior to my coming in, well, they do crazy stuff like, wrestle grizzly bear, or wrestle a bear, or just crazy stuff like that, right? Yeah. just to draw a crowd. And so because he was a shooter, they'd put, any town he went to, they'd put the invite out, anyone that can last 3 minutes with Tim, Mr. Wrestling and the whatever, win $1,000 or whatever it was. So Tim would take on all comers. Like, and so many big old country boys in their bibs, the overall bibs and stuff, man, would get in that ring. Well, Tim had this one dude tied up like an absolute pretzel. I mean, screaming like a girl. I mean, that dude bit off that part,
Mike Tyson did.
He bit that part. I go, Tim, you are a kid. He goes, oh no. And he bit it off, spit it out, and they did eventually find that part, but they
couldn't sew it on.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
That's crazy.
And needless to say, that was the last time they did that challenge with the crowd.
I bet.
It was a different world back in those days.
Yeah. People don't realize 60s and 70s, any of those eras. I appreciate what you said, Mike, about, moving that group but one built upon the other, right, or whatever. We take in my life story, we take a wrestling's history back to the 1800s. I mean, back to the, Frank Gotches of wrestling and the Lou Theszes and, back when, like, even back then, like, even presidents of the United States, like, were wrestling fans. In fact, some of the presidents, Abe Lincoln and some were wrestlers.
Oh, right. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There were several U.S. presidents that were amateur wrestlers.
And I've got a degree in American history.
They all did when they would get the corn up or whatever the field's up in there. That's when they would wrestle. They have all them corn cobs, shucks and stuff, and they would get out there. I've read stories about that. Yeah. My grandfather used to tell us about that. He did the same thing.
Yeah, George Hackenschmidt name popped in my head. I mean, some real legit old time wrestlers, man, that in their era made a real name for themselves and had a real level of respect.
What was George's the guy that brought you into wrestling? George, what was his last name? Swede.
Oh, Swede Hansen.
Swede Hansen. I thought there was George too.
Yeah, so Swede. They opened up a little school here, Wahoo McDaniel's School of Pro Wrestling, whatever. So
I saw his wife.
Really?
Yeah, just in Vegas.
No kidding.
Wahoo's widow.
Mm-hmm. Now she ended up marrying Ricky now, right? Ricky.
I don't know. I don't know who she's married to, but she came up to me at my signing table and said, "Hey, I was Wahoo's, back in."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember you totally." So anyway, you were going to say the school with Wahoo and Swede Hansen.
And Swede would just come in. Like a lot of times when they just come in. If one of the guys has a school, some of the other boys will come in. Like their friends and stuff, and it helps with morale. Plus, they might see somebody. I want to do something with him.
Yeah.
So Swede took a liking to me and sent me to Texas to train with Johnny Valentine.
The power plant, is that what that was called? Or?
It wasn't the power plant. That was
in Atlanta, WCW.
That was Atlanta. They sent me there, but when I got to Texas, I knew the story about the plane crash and all that stuff, but I didn't know a whole lot about it. Man, they had me and probably 3 or 4 other guys about my size back then. And as soon as we got there in the morning, we had to get on the outside of the apron there and put our arms in the ropes like this. And then the guy you're working with behind you would come up and they would chop you in the chest until you got whelps and until your whelps started bleeding.
Oh my God.
And so I'm sitting there like, this seems odd to me. And I took it, and I was like,
what's the point?
Am I learning here?
Right. What's the point of this?
This shit hurts.
Well, I know that's the one thing that did. I mean, all of it's athletic and you take your lumps. But every time I would go watch Mike when he was wrestling, whoever he was wrestling probably hated me because I would get over as close as I could to the corner and I would say, chop him, Mike, chop him. And Mike would just start, and he would get a little bit harder. And the guys looked like their chest was just a big old red bump by the time it was over with.
Yeah. So what ended up happening?
So we up there and you know, Johnny's wife was, Johnny was in the
wheelchair.
Yeah. And so they had this other huge black guy there. I can't remember his name, but anyway, he and I we got along good. We were working together because we were both taking it serious, you know. So we were working together every morning in there. And the last day, the Saturday before it was our last day, we were all going home. And he said, Johnny came in. He said, "Okay," he said, "Big boy, you talking about me?" And he said, "And you said, yeah, y'all get on in the ring." And so we're like, "Okay." So we get in there. We thought we were getting ready to work a match. He said, "All right, let's see who can get the other one." And we looked. We're like, "What? What is it, Johnny?" He said, "I want to see who the man is." He said, "I want you to shoot on each other." And I was like, I looked at him and he said, I was like, "All right. But I'm a lot better shooter."
Yeah, this is your cup of tea right there.
I tied him up like a pretzel, boy. And Johnny loved me after that. Like, he was like, "Think you can stay another week?" I said, "No."
my chest won't let me.
I'm bleeding. I don't have any shirts left. I bled through everything. But we had a good time now. And the guy, this is what blew my mind. I don't even know if he was a Von Erich or if he was just using the name, but he looked just like him. His name was, anyway, he was 47 at the time. I didn't know that. This dude was built like he was chiseled. He was best physique I've ever seen. And I can't remember something Von Erich. Anyway, we got done with practice and we were like, "Hey man, we're going to go get something to eat and go hang out a little whatever, you know, before we go to the hotel." He said, "Oh man, I'm going to get in the hot tub and ice down too." And back and forth. But he said, I can't go like you boys. He said, "I'm 47. And I was like, "Yeah, right, whatever." And he was like, I'm 47. But the next day we were there and I know he got me in a front headlock. And so everything that Johnny told you to do was basically a shoot. Like he would tell me to get the front headlock and don't let him out of it. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I was getting out pretty easy. I just blocked that elbow and stepped through on everybody. Dude, that joker about broke my neck. Like I tried that. I tried to block the elbow and step through and, you know, real quick. I literally thought he broke my neck. I was like, this is the strongest guy I've ever met. And I'm not doing this anymore. Like it was craziest thing, but we had a good time up there, but I didn't learn anything, but I got to visit with him.
Got to hang out with Johnny Valentines.
Yeah.
Yeah. The plane crash, you know, and that's an amazing story too, in the sense that, you know, Flair Tim Woods actually was on that same flight.
Wow. I know Flair has a big lump on his back.
Yeah.
From that.
Yeah, where he broke his back.
Yeah.
Tim, I wish I could remember all the details, but Tim, I'll tell you how tough Tim was. I'll tell you, he was what? You get your finger bit off, you're a pretty tough dude. He wrestled like either that night or like the next night.
Wow. Just
to show people, hey, the little thing like a plane crash is going to stop.
Wow.
You know, Mr. Wrestling.
Right.
Stop Tim Woods or whatever. So anyway.
Now, you know better than I do, but the way I heard it was what Flair came in there and he got up at front where Johnny liked to sit. And Johnny made him move because Flair was younger back then. Johnny was and so Johnny was like, "Yeah, that's my seat. Move."
Yeah, get in the back, kid.
Yep.
Get in the back, kid.
Well, that would have been Flair in the wheelchair.
That would have been him. Yeah. Could have been.
Yeah, all those kind of stories, right? David Crockett walking away from it. And that reminds me of the Buddy Holly story. You know that story, right? The Buddy Holly plane crash up in Iowa. Waylon Jennings was 19 years old. Waylon Jennings. It's a good Southern boy story.
That's right.
19 years old. He was supposed to be on that plane. Well, the Big Bopper wasn't feeling well. And they had a bus, but Buddy was exhausted. The bus kept breaking down. They're going up to Fargo, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Right? Leaving like Cedar Rapids, Iowa, or something like that. And Waylon tells the Big Bopper, "Well, look, you're sick. You're not feeling well. I'll jump on the bus. You jump on the plane." And Buddy hears that Waylon gave up his seat to the Big Bopper. and he's like busting his chops, right? He's like, so, heard you're not flying with us tonight. Huh? Going on the bus, all right? And he goes, yeah, Big Bopper's not feeling well. And Holly says, well, I hope your bus breaks down again. To which Waylon says, well, I hope your plane crashes.
Oh, my gosh.
True story. Like, this is true story.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
And it took Waylon years, as you might guess, to get over that.
Right.
If ever.
To get over that. And lo and behold, man, plane crashes, they all die. And here Waylon obviously goes on to have an amazing country singing career.
Yeah. Right.
But, he was like just 19-year-old kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Crazy, right?
That is
Crazy
amazing.
story. My dad and I got the two. It's kind of an interesting. When I was actually traveling down to Waterloo, Iowa, Dan Gable, who is a
Wrestler.
gold medalist
From Iowa, I think.
He's from Iowa.
One of the best ever.
Yeah.
Yep, 72 Munich Olympics, gold medalist. Incredible coach. I mean, he's won like 21 NCAA championships as a coach.
Right.
I don't think fact check me on this, but I don't think he had a point scored on him at the Olympics. Which, if you know anything about amateur wrestling, is
I don't know if that's true. No, I mean, I haven't. I've never looked.
It's something stellar like that,
Right.
And he had only lost one college match, and so anyway, all that to say, he's got a Hall of Fame in Waterloo, Iowa, a museum,
Sure.
and an amateur and professional Hall of Fame. For the wrestling fans out there, put it on your bucket list. Like, go to Waterloo, Iowa. Every summer, they have a big 3 or 4 day deal where they induct more guys into the hall. They have a live show that night. Gable's usually there. Dan's usually there for the banquet,
Right.
and the award night, typically. So I got to meet him a couple different times. I was inducted in that one, I think, in 2006 or something.
Right.
All that to say, my dad was still living at the time. Flew into Minneapolis. My dad rode down with me. We had a little extra time on the way down, a little extra time on the way back. And so I saw the sign, Buddy Holly crash, plane crash site. I'm like, Dad, what? Care about? We got time, buzz by. He goes, yeah, let's do it. And we pull up to this cornfield.
Right.
And there's a little tiny sign with an arrow pointing and you basically get out, you step over this fence, you walk down this little trail that tons of people have made into this cornfield, and it's just a little tiny site. This is where the plane crashed.
Wow.
Right here.
Yeah.
Right. And then on the way home, right? So we have the hall, have the induction, the whole deal. I see a sign, John Wayne's birthplace. I'm like, Dad, you want to go tour John Wayne, Marion, whatever his name was. I go, you want to go tour? He goes, sure, let's go, right?
What's more American than that?
Come on, the Duke, right? John Wayne, man. Like, come on. And man, this tiny, I would say probably a house not bigger than the studio we're sitting in.
Right.
Not much bigger
than
this studio we're sitting in right now was John Wayne's birthplace. Yeah. Right at this little corner house right on in there's middle of Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa. So anyway,
Well, that's
a couple random stories.
Well, here's something
great.
random about that. Back in the day, there was a reason why houses were so small. Mm-hmm. Most people spent their time outside.
Yeah.
They weren't. I remember growing up, my grandpa's house had 2 bedrooms,
Yep.
1 bathroom, a kitchen, and a living room with a fireplace. And they
The
raised
fireplace heated the whole house.
and they raised
or
4,
stove.
Yeah, they raised 4 kids.
Yeah. Yep.
They all shared the bathroom.
Yep.
They some of them slept in the floor, some of them slept on the couch, some of them slept in the bedrooms, and it wasn't no big deal. Mm-hmm. They didn't have hardly no closet space because they didn't have 60 pairs of shoes. And
right.
I'm not going to talk about shoes too much because I got a problem with that. But
he got a lot of shoes, Mike.
But it's
He's definitely metrosexual.
It's a
I'm not even gonna touch.
It's a life. It's a whole different life where it wasn't so much about materialism.
Pretty simple.
And it was
John
better.
Wayne's house.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't need big houses back then because they didn't spend much time in them unless they weren't sleeping or eating.
Yep, simple. They're out in the fields, working the fields, or working, right? Doing something. Anyway,
I'm loving this. Is there anything else that you want to? Because I want to get him at some point. I want you to come back because I want a whole list of stuff where we can.
Yeah, we can do a part 2 sometime. Yeah. I'd be honored to do that, and I appreciate the opportunity today, and just share some of the stories and some of the wrestling stories, and talk a little bit about ministry.
Talk about the Lord anytime.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, are you still involved in prison ministry then, or not?
I haven't. I did it with Bill Glass.
Yep.
And then I was on the board of directors for Safer Communities Ministry, which is a Christian-based organization that does it. Their main affiliate is First Baptist Church Indian Trail, but they do a lot in down in Columbia, and they do a lot here in Union County, and they've expanded out in Anson County and Wadesboro, where they do life training. Their recidivism rate, typically it's 85% of the people that go to jail come back, and it's a flipped number with them. If they go through their training program at Safer Communities Ministry, the recidivism rate is about 15%.
Back into the
So I was on the board of directors for probably a decade, and I still definitely support them in every way possible. But done some got to give some testimony and do some things with them, and then with the big guys, with the Bill Glass guys, I was just a 22, 23-year-old kid,
They're supporting, right?
Just I was there. I mean, I would pray with people and share stuff with them, but mainly I was just like, them Muslims are looking hard over here. Oh, they're coming over here.
It's the prison ministry. Like, if you're going to do that, I would say you need to be called to that, because it can be very intimidating. The minute those doors slam, when you walk through, I'm like, boom, like you are now in the prison. Like locked in. The
first guy I ever talked to in prison, Central Prison in Raleigh, was in there for life. He shot 17 people in a nightclub over here in Gastonia.
Right.
And you're supposed to correspond with him after the fact, to send letters back and forth. And I did. He never responded back with me, but it was definitely a way. Like I said, I looked at them as more like real people. They were just in a
because they just made mistakes.
Yeah,
I like to say they made mistakes, got caught. There are some people out there in the free world who made mistakes and didn't get caught.
Right.
But probably should have got caught.
Well, now you can get caught and nothing can happen to you if you're in politics.
Well, in today's world, that'd be a whole other conversation too for another time. But no, I'd love to come back, and of course, and talk more about too, like like the shirt I'm wearing today, right? Man camp.
That's what I wanted to get you to talk about. Like before we cut it out, I want you to.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to sign up. I'm going to go.
I hope you will.
I am.
I really do.
I'm going to go, and I look forward to it. I need it.
I say every man does. It's an experience, and it's different for every guy. And for you viewers, just in a nutshell, of course, they can go to koloff.net and click the link and learn more. Although they're not going to see a ton of information on there, because we like to say it's a different experience, a different encounter for every single guy. So we want guys to come without any, I'll say it this way, without any expectations.
Presuppositions.
Or expectations of, right? And even guys that come and we send them home, we're like, just tell them how you encountered God. You don't have to go into, we had lunch at noon, and, that's not even important, right? It's that they're coming to encounter God and develop a deeper relationship with God. So when the Lord gave Lex Luger and I the vision for this, 10, 12 years ago, we didn't jump on it immediately. We just kind of let the Lord kind of build upon it, direct it, and build it to where, we do one in the spring, one in April, and one in October. And just small groups of men. Like this last one we just finished up, we had 15 guys from 6 different states. I had 15 staff, so it's a one-on-one ratio on this particular camp. And we just got to pour into guys. We had a dozen guys that realized were saved, but realized I hadn't really let Jesus take the wheel. Another good country song, right? Jesus take the wheel. Mm-hmm. We had a dozen guys make that decision. We had 6 guys get water baptized while they were there.
Right.
We had men whose hearts were healed, men who had held on things from their childhood that needed to let some things go and be set free, imprisoned by things that were holding them captive, if you will.
So talk
about prison. And so the 5 words I probably hear the most, not from every single guy, I can't say, but from many guys. I mean, I've been doing these camps now for 20 years.
Right.
So I don't know how many I've done. And I have an incredible staff. I have 3 or 4 of these guys have been with me and done no less than 30 to 40 camps with me on staff.
Wow.
With me.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I'm blessed. I mean, some of them as far back as 2011. I mean, they take a week off of work, a week away from their family just to come and volunteer and serve at camp. I mean, none of them get paid to do this. They just volunteer their time. And so I got a very seasoned staff, but the 5 words I hear the most at the end is, this week was life-changing. for many of those guys. And guys come from all different reasons. We've had multimillionaires. We've had some of my guys one time called me on Sunday on the way to camp and said, "You have room for one more?" And I'm like, "Well, what's up?" They go, "Well, we drove by this guy hitchhiking. True story. Drove by this guy hitchhiking. And Lord said, turn around, go talk to that guy." So we spun the car around and we pull up and go, "Hey, like what's up? Like, where are you going?" He goes, "Well, I'm hitchhiking to Tennessee." And they go, "Well," and they're in South Carolina. They go, "Well, we're not going to Tennessee. We can get you closer. We're going to Georgia to this camp with a couple guys named Lex Luger and Nikita Koloff." Well, lo and behold, guess what? The guy was a wrestling fan.
There you go.
Yeah.
The guy knew. He goes, "The wrestlers?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to go?" And he goes, "I got nowhere else to go."
Yeah.
So he comes. Check this out. He comes that first night. I said, "Jim," his name's Jim. "Jim, share a little bit of your story, man. You're hitchhiking to Tennessee. What's up? What's going on?" So he shares a little bit of story. He goes, "I got a lot of questions." I go, "Well, you know what, Jim? I don't have all the answers, but I know who does."
Right.
And so over the next few days, let's just see what kind of answers you get to those questions.
Sure.
Fast forward 2 days. That's Sunday night. Fast forward to Tuesday night. He comes in. He spent some time out in the woods with God's creation. He says, "Can I share a couple things?" "Yeah." "What do you got, Jim?" He goes, "Well, I was out there talking to God today. I got a bunch of answers." He goes, "I just want you guys to know I surrendered my life to Jesus out in those woods today." We're like, "Man, Jim, that's amazing."
That's awesome.
And tell you how good my staff is. Come Friday when we wrapped up, one of my guys says, "I'm going to drive Jim to Nashville." I go, "You going to what?" He goes, "Well, he needs to get to Nashville, and I'm not going to let him hitchhike. So the Lord put on my heart to drive him there."
Servant's heart.
That's awesome.
I go, "Dude, you live in North Carolina?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "You going to like drop him off, drive home?" He goes, "Yeah." So what people don't realize is about a 4 or 5 hour drive to Nashville, drop him off. You're going to lose an hour coming back with a time change. So I don't know what time you got back, 2 or 3 in the morning, by the time you got back home after a week at camp.
Man, that's good stuff.
So anyway, yeah, so that's one of just many, many, many stories of guys who come get impacted. I'll say this too. If somebody's in the military, is or was, a first responder, law enforcement, if they're a lead pastor, we automatically cut the cost of camp in half for them. Not that it's that expensive to begin with,
Right.
but we just want to bless those guys for serving and just being a part of, making a commitment to be a part of camp. So, yeah. So in a nutshell, ladies, for you listening out there, what's our goal? Our goal is to equip and empower these men. I'll tell you one last quick story. We had a guy come last fall. He's like, "Yeah, I'm kind of here because of my wife." I'm like, "Well, how'd that work?" He goes, "Well, she's encouraged me to come to this thing." And I'm like, "Honey, I'm good. I'm good, right? My mom, I'm a good person."
That's right.
The guy goes, "I'm good." To which she responded, "But you can't get better."
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
He goes, "So that's why I'm here, to get better, right?
Yeah.
That's why I'm here." So I sell that to say, go on Koloff.net, click the Man Camp link, learn more. And for the ladies out there, our goal is to equip and empower guys, give them tools to go home and just be better.
Man, these ladies going to be charging their husband's credit cards to get them on board. They ain't even going to ask them.
I'm just saying.
My wife's been like pushing me since I told her about it. Yeah.
Right. And that's what I say. I go, ladies, I go, just give me your blessing. Just say, "Hey, you wanna go to camp?"
Is this the one that you were talking to me about a while back, where you don't have a cell phone, cell phone or
I think it's similar. That was Quest. That's another buddy of mine does it out in the same area, I think.
We don't confiscate phones.
right?
But what we say to guys is, you're here to get away from all the distractions. How about putting that thing in your car?
Right.
And life's going to go on without you. You're not that important,
Right.
believe it or not. Life will still exist without you being on your phone, have it in your hand. And I'll say this: we had a pastor come one time who refused to put it away, like flat out refused. Right? All right. So we're just praying about it. A couple days later, he comes out of the woods from some time with the Lord, and a staff comes to me with a cell phone. I'm like, he goes, "It's Pastor T's." I go, "Wait, what?" He goes, "It's Pastor Tony's phone." I go, "What'd you wrestle him for? Would you take it away from him?" He goes, "No, man. He came charging out of those woods and just handed it to me." I go, "Did he say anything?" He goes, "Yeah, actually he did." He said God had a little conversation with him out there and said, "Tony, what's more important? The voice and what's on the other end of that phone, or my voice? You decide."
And that's usually how the Lord does it.
That's exactly how it got me straight.
So anyway, yeah, I just encourage the
Lord
ladies.
says
I'm
pick.
like,
Sometimes you just
Yeah.
got to pick.
I mean, it's that simple.
so
Just choose your God.
yeah, after or what you're going to devote your time and what's going to be a priority, right?
Right.
So ladies, just encourage the men. Just give them encourage. Hey, give them your blessing. Hey, if you ever want to go, yeah, my blessing. I support you, and yeah. So anyway,
Man, loved it.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed
you
this
guys.
so much.
Yes,
and so he's got you on the radio too in Charlotte.
Yep. So Truth Radio Network. So Saturday afternoons, the Man Up radio show and or podcast. Like if you don't do the show, like it's on all the major podcast platforms. Nikita Koloff. It's time to man up, and I do a secondary show, as you know, called Q&A with Koloff.
Sure.
On the podcast platform, but yeah. So do that the weekly show, and these
The
camps.
format on your Q&A, is it's about biblical questions that people have, or it's just anything?
Anything. Like, it's pretty fun. Like I never know what people are going to ask.
Right.
And all I tell them is this: we're going to talk about 8 or 10 minutes about who you are. We'll flip the table. You can ask me a couple questions about anything you want to ask. Yeah. And every now and then, I mean, it kind of like puts me on the spot. Sometimes, but sometimes wrestling questions, sometimes they're biblical questions. It can depend. Yeah. Life situation. I had a guy in Canada one time, big fan in Canada. I was interviewing over the phone, and he asked me, how you handle suicide. I mean, so this is a pretty serious question,
right?
Wow, that can be asked, and so anyway, yeah, so that's fun. Working on this book with Magnum, and for the 40th anniversary, so a lot of different things in the works going on, and but I'm grateful.
Good stuff.
Thankful. Yeah.
Well, man, I can't thank you enough for being on our show. This was an honor, and one of our childhood. You take that with you.
Childhood villain. My childhood villain came to visit today.
Oh, Lord.
They love to hate me.
That's right.
They love to hate me.
I love
the American flag. Spit on your flag.
Nikita Koloff, everybody. Thank you so much, and stay Southern, y'all.